Super duper Wildcard weekend recap show, Gridiron Junkies edition. Boom. I'm in a Rangers jersey. You know why? You know why I'm in a Rangers jersey? Because at the start of last baseball season, I hit a future bet for the Rangers to win the World Series. A feat that hadn't been accomplished since before there was colored television type stuff, people. Nobody said it could be done. Okay. I'm repping the jersey today because I put in for the Lions to defeat the Ravens in the Super Bowl in August, $10 at plus 19,000. So I would end up winning $1,900. It's going to happen. It is going to happen. I will go 2 for 2 this year. Rangers was just a nice little drop in the bucket. A little hello, okay? Circa, give me $2,000. This one is going to feel the sweetest out of all of them because I actually love the Lions. And we'll get to them once we hit them chronologically. Joining me today is the phenomenal stat woman / betting connoisseur. She is you think of a prop bet, she's heard of it. Okay?
I've put it in.
Cameron Wittowitz has put in that prop bet. Think of it. Go Wilder. She's put it in before.
Hello, everybody. There's my little thing. There we go. I almost hit, I want to say, speaking of prop bets, 2 touchdowns each half in a game.
Mm-hmm.
What did I put that down for? Oh, the Rams and the Lions. The second half kind of fucked me, but it's the closest I've been. Both of them got 2 touchdowns in the first half.
Yeah.
And then they didn't really score again. But
it is.
Hey, we're getting there.
Cameron, I'm so glad that you bring up this bet because it seems like such an attainable bet. But when you look at the odds difference between a team to score 1 touchdown in each half to them scoring 2 touchdowns each in each half, which happens in college football. I bet the odds in college football are probably a lot better.
You can't even put those in.
Yeah, you can't put them in because
I wish you could put prop bet.
Yeah. So it literally jumps from like plus 150 to like 14 to 1. So when you do hit it, which you have,
I'll be so.
You've hit it before once, right?
No.
Oh, well, you need to stop putting that in.
Well, one of these days it'll hit.
Sure. Okay. Whatever.
I don't have that much longer. We got about a month left, but I think I can make it work.
All right.
You'll be sorry. You'll be sorry when I hit it and you didn't put it in.
Yeah, just like the subathon that Nick always posts, and I'm always seeing that story post about 3 hours too late. But good thing I didn't put it in this week because it didn't hit.
I've never hit a subathon. Every time I put them in, they don't hit.
Feel free to use split screen too.
Oh, you think that's better than
going?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. When you toss it, yeah. Just toss it up so that people see what I'm talking about here. Yeah.
Split screen.
They always want to see that pretty little face.
There we go. Okay.
I'm talking about me. All right.
There we go. Back to you.
Moving on to all the games that happened this weekend. We're going to cover each one in chronological order. I'm going to give you my little takes about each game. Okay. Starting off. That's a nice little transition for me finding the scores of these games real quick because I don't want to mess this up. So, NFL, boom. We're starting off with the Browns and the Texans. Texans 45, Browns 14. CJ Stroud becomes the youngest player in NFL history to win a playoff game starting at quarterback. Barely beat out Michael Vick by like 90 days. Michael Vick did this with the Falcons in 2002 as they defeated the Packers. Elite company. CJ Stroud himself said, I appreciate being in such elite company. To be mentioned with a name like Michael Vick, it's a big moment. He pulls off the victory that really should be attributed, in my opinion, to DeMeco Ryans and the way that he's got this defense playing. There's one little concern I have. D'Amico Ryan lost Denzel Perryman in the third quarter, and he is a speedy little linebacker that fits their system well. He's like a pretty big part of that Houston Texans success in the first half. But the Texans defense, they were anticipating better than I've ever seen a defense anticipate plays before, and they were playing physical. Will Anderson is an absolute problem. Just goes to show why these defensive ends get taken in the first round consistently. But the main, key factor to all of this has to be CJ Stroud, right? Because CJ Stroud, being the youngest quarterback to ever win a playoff game like this and putting himself in elite company, tagged on to looking like the most composed quarterback of the entire weekend. If you look at all the different games, I would say he maybe is up there with Matthew Stafford's performance as far as quarterback composure and the way that he was delivering passes with, pressure right in his face all night long. CJ Stroud diced up what was the Browns' probably best defense in the last 8 years. This Browns defense went on to set plenty of records. I remember at the beginning of the year, we said that they had like the biggest point differential in the first 7 weeks of the season in NFL history. And it's like, damn, they play stingy, and they're a Cinderella story that what do they say? They turned her into a pumpkin in Cinderella? Cinderella,
her carriage turned into a pumpkin after midnight, yeah.
That's Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco was the carriage, and midnight struck, and boom, turned into a pumpkin. All that being said, if Joe Flacco wouldn't have had a game in which he threw 2 pick sixes, it's relatively competitive and close. I don't think that Houston defense was on the field as long as they should have been. But moving on from Joe Flacco's horror story and turning into a pumpkin, let's talk a little bit more about what the Texans have to face next week and the Baltimore Ravens. They have to go into Baltimore and they have to play Lamar Jackson, who's really on 3 weeks of rest, and so is everybody on that team. And I think you're going to see a rookie quarterback that just can't live up to the moment. Very similar to how Lamar Jackson was when he played the Chargers, I believe, his rookie year in the playoffs. It was just like the moment was really big. That Chargers team had Khalil Mack coming off the edge. Okay. This Ravens team has some serious secondary players, starting with Marlon Humphreys. I'm predicting a Marlon Humphreys pick 6. The Texans, they sling it, but I really do think they're going to run into a buzzsaw with the Ravens. They're just a very fast defense. And in order to match with that Texans' big playability, you need to have a defense that's, able to cover Nico Collins one-on-one, manned up. Like, that's got to happen because you're going to blitz, and you better hope that you get to CJ Stroud before he releases. But it's just like, it's crazy. Impeccable timing by this kid to just be able to lead a receiver and get smacked in the face. That's why they get paid a lot. Houston no longer has a problem. They won me my first bet of the weekend. The Browns, next season, I will say this right now, the Browns will be in the AFC Championship game. This is a big-time future prediction, but just knowing what they have coming back, Nick Chubb will be running the football again the next time the Browns play football. That is something that, you can think about and be like, I feel a little bit better about this. Okay, moving on to the next game that was on Saturday. The 4th coldest game in NFL history. Chiefs 26, Dolphins 7. The only thing that happened is the same thing that I've been telling you all year. Death, taxes, Tyreek Hill touchdowns. And that touchdown that Tyreek Hill had was just, it was nuts. It was a ball that was probably floating like a duck in the air. I want to see the all-22 cam because it just floated in the air forever. He catches it and has to make 2 people miss. if only you can clone people, you know? I think the Dolphins really wanted to clone Tyreek Hill and, just have 4 of them out there. He's that good. And if that was the case, they would have won the game.
Can I just have all my players be Tyreek Hill? All my wide receivers.
Make it happen. Here's the big thing that came from that game. Okay, it was freezing cold. I, in the house, turned the AC down and turned the fan on, went shirtless, and I was like, I need to feel like I'm in the elements. It just gets me fired up. There's something about Wildcard weekend, super Wildcard weekend. Seeing the Instagram post of Buffalo in, the snow, 65-mile-an-hour gust, and then we see the frozen tundra. I wish it was snowing. That would have made that game so much better if there was just like a constant snow, but I'll take it. It was cold as fuck. And you could see the icicles on Andy Reid's mustache. An amazing atmosphere in game. Okay. Tyreek Hill does what he does. You can't clone him. Unfortunate. It's just amazing how good the Chiefs are. And I said it after we watched them play the Raiders. And I was like, this team is a Super Bowl caliber team. Like that, there's just no way around it. Even with them being, by the way, they weren't last in drops this year, which they led that for a very long time. I don't know which team ended up taking first, but they were third when I saw the graphic pop up on Sunday night that they had only dropped the most amount of passes.
It's not bad.
Not bad. Rashee Rice did what a rookie receiver needs to do when Travis Kelce is constantly drawing attention in double teams. It's one thing to, have to get yourself open in one-on-one situations. It's another thing to, make big-time catches. And the very last thing, it's amazing when you have the ability to step up to the occasion, win your one-on-one matchups, make amazing catches, and your quarterback's Patrick Mahomes. It's so good. It's just a yummy, satisfying feeling. It's like this, Cameron. Whenever the NFL draft comes around, right, you have all the worst teams early on, and they get the best players. But if you're just picked at the end by the teams that were really good the year before, it's kind of like the money spot in the draft, Let me get drafted first round, maybe not for monetary purposes, for legacy and good team purposes. Let me get drafted first round, 29th overall pick.
Go to a team that's already good.
Yeah. Rashee Rice was probably like, yes. Fuck yes. I'm pretty good, He's going to always put it there. I'm going to be amazing. And he made the best of his moment. And he's going to continue to have big moments. This happens every time there's a Super Bowl run. There's certain players that stick out. In the first game, I told you about CJ Stroud and Nico Collins. In this game, the things that really stuck out was Rashee Rice and Isaiah Pacheco. That man was running so fucking hard. It's my favorite thing to watch. Cameron, I can't wait to, oh my gosh. We're also watching the Eagles-Buccaneers game right now, and Jalen Hurts just took a shot to the dome piece. We will be covering that game dead last, but it's happening right above Cameron's head. Third quarter, 11 minutes to go. Bucks are up 16-9. George took Bucks money line. And Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown score, which hasn't happened yet. A little worried about that, but that's what we're waiting on in the back end. Back to the players that stood out in the Chiefs versus Dolphins game. I said Isaiah Pacheco. I said Rashee Rice. If those two players are consistently the highest performing players in the next 2 games moving forward, the Chiefs will be in the Super Bowl. It'll fuck my bet. It will fuck it, okay? I need Lions, Ravens. But if they perform well, it's over. I just don't see how anybody can match that level of physicality and then big time playmaking. Rashee Rice is an amazing receiver. Can't wait to pick him up in fantasy football next year. Like, why did I miss the boat this year? It just happens. Okay, I picked Kadarius Toney. So, fuck. I really fucked up on that one. Moving on to the next game. All right, Sunday. Sunday. Very last thing on the Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa to get over 25 rushing yards. Gave that to you on Wager Wars. I can't bet that because Boyd was being a bitch ass about Tua's alternative rushing yards. All of a sudden, this is a prop bet. Like, here's the thing. Don't list it if I can't put a number in. You would click on it, it would give you the down arrow, and there'd be nothing. Fuck you, because I would have made serious bank on this. It was plus 750 on FanDuel. Tua, 2 scrambles like I predicted because it's a playoff game and that's what quarterbacks do. Gets to 25 yards. You're welcome. If you're able to put it in, you're welcome. Sunday started off with the funeral of the Cowboys. Let me take a sip for this. Not everything good can happen to Texas in one. You know what I mean? Dallas and the Texas Rangers, that would have been too much for one city. You know what I mean? Houston wins. That will like balance it out. You got one from Texas, one from Houston. If they end up winning the Super Bowl, which would be nuts. It would be crazy if the Texans won the Super Bowl. But anyways, the Packers defeat the Cowboys 48-32. The look that I saw in Dak Prescott's eyes after he threw that first interception to Jair Alexander, I'm going to do my best Dak Prescott impression going into the next drive after he had, already been down 14-0 because he sucked. He was listening to plays like this. Mike McCarthy's like, X right, Z razor, 97 slit, zag on 4. And Dak Prescott's like this. Even his little saying where, and by the way, if you're just listening to this on audio, what the fuck are you doing? Go to YouTube. You can even watch it on Spotify. You got to go back and see the eyes of just the 1,000-yard stare into just, oh my God. Stephen A. Smith is going to have a heyday on me. Every big-time publication is going to shit on me. I'm going to have kids in a fucking Rangers jersey who have a football podcast who are just going to be making fun of my eyes. He was processing all that. All of it. After that first interception, I've never seen a quarterback look more scared in my life. It's amazing. I cannot thank the NFL enough for having 377 cameras at every NFL game to catch the close-up action of every team. If I was the technical director and I was like, can we get in closer? Let's get in closer to Dak Prescott's eyes.
How much does he want to kill himself right now? Look at that. You can see in his eyes.
You could see in his eyes. He's literally he's like, oh.
Can I share a funny meme with all the Cowboys memes yesterday?
Yeah.
It was like, it's a Dak Prescott taking a look in the mirror after that pick 6, and it was just him looking at the trash can. I was like, because at first I didn't get it. I was like, where's the mirror? And I said, oh.
Oh my God.
Oh, classic.
Oh, Dak Prescott. He ruined it. The other people that ruined it was Dan Quinn and being the defensive coordinator of the Cowboys, who, like, all year, Cowboys defense, I would say, based on stats, they were really good. But then when you look back and you see how they acquired all these turnovers and all these big-time wins, let's not forget Deron Bland, their corner, led the broke an NFL record for most pick 6s in a season, all before Week 12. When you look back, you're like, damn, that's a lucky team. And they were not lucky at all. The Packers had a scheme put in place to annihilate the Cowboys defense and Dan Quinn. He dropped the ball. There was no pressure on Jordan Love all night. Jordan Love looked, dare I say, like Aaron Rodgers, slinging the rock back there. The Cheeseheads probably were going bananas at Big Dog's Brewery here in Las Vegas. Okay. Big time Packers bar. Cheese curds. Amazing. They were probably going nuts just being like, these Cowboys are frauds. Couple of big moments and takeaway from that game. Jerry Jones, like in the press box going like, God dang it. You could see him like, it's a video that's circulating. And that right there goes to show you that the time's up. There's these moments that you can visibly see in somebody's face that they want change. And it's going to be pretty tough. Even a night's sleep won't even help Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott. Their asses are gone.
Their asses are grasses.
Their asses are grasses. And Jerry Jones is the lawnmower. They are gonzo. Yeah.
Damn, how long has Mike McCarthy been the coach?
Mike McCarthy, this is his 4th year as a coach.
Dang. And this happens every year where they get to the playoffs and just shit the bed. Did it happen before Mike McCarthy?
They've haven't made the Super Bowl in their last 11 playoff appearances.
Oh.
So, like, think about it. Like, 11 times going to the playoffs, thinking we can make it to the Super Bowl.
Always the bridesmaid, never the bride kind of situation.
And Dak Prescott throws his first interception, and he looks like a lying dog-faced pony soldier out there. All right? He sucked. He sucked so bad. How bad did he suck? He sucked so bad. Dyson's looking at him for a fucking commercial.
George, I was just thinking that.
That was too easy.
Just thinking of Dyson.
That's how you know.
Thing.
Roomba's looking at him for a fucking commercial. That's how bad he sucked.
Like
Whatever. What else to say about that game? Let's see. Jordan Love played amazing. Oh, here's the thing. Aaron Jones. You had Aaron Jones 2 touchdowns scored, right? Did you put that bet in? No?
No.
Okay, I thought you said you did. I had thought that going into that game that Aaron Jones would go off. I had Aaron Jones as an anytime touchdown scorer. I wish you would have put him in for the 3 touchdowns that he did score. That man is running fresh as a daisy. It's actually, I'm criticizing Dan Quinn, but that Cowboys defense played soft as shit because Aaron Jones was just powering through arm tackles. Like, it didn't seem like anybody matched his speed on the field either. It was just a recipe for disaster. And yeah, the Packers, not a team I'm worried about in the NFC because their day will come. Like, it's not like they're some world beaters. I think they will get their ass whooped and everyone will be like, wow, the Cowboys suck even worse than we thought. And by then, things will have been shaken up. Jerry Jones was visibly upset in his post-game press conference. And neither one of Mike – here's the thing that Dak Prescott said. Dak Prescott said, if you're going to ask me anything you say about Mike McCarthy, you can say about me. I can attribute all my success this year to him. You can attribute that success on another fucking team, motherfucker, because you're out of here. And it's not because he didn't have an amazing year. It's because sometimes people just need a fresh start. People just need a fresh start. We are watching a fresh start take place right now in this Eagles-Buccaneers game. Baker Mayfield last year, bounced around team to team, played for the Rams, and then he also played for the Browns at the beginning of the year. And then everybody in the offseason was like, oh my gosh, like, he's washed up. Nobody's ever going to, find a way to make him successful. And then he wins the NFC South. And then he's possibly going to beat the Eagles in his first playoff game, first year for that team, which is huge. So I think the same thing could happen for Dak Prescott. The grass is sometimes greener on the other side. The newspapers will still write bad about you, but as long as you're not the quarterback for the Cowboys, you'll be fine. It's just bad for his mentals. He will kill himself. Like, that's not good. Yeah, it is terrible. It is terrible. I don't know how somebody could bear the weight of that.
Oh, I
every show.
Can't imagine just being famous, anybody, but especially fucking football players. Oh my gosh, the microscope they're under. you're just going to get shit on. You're like, I'm trying my best, man. You come out here, be quarterback, and play this game. None of us could, but we're going to talk shit. That's what we do. And it's deserved.
And
you
that's
make millions of dollars.
That's why when you see it done,
wipe your tears with that.
When you see it done to perfection, like how CJ Stroud and Jordan Love played, yeah, like you're like, damn, that's what it looks like at a really, really high level of comfortability in a big moment. Moving on to the biggest moment of this super wild card weekend, Sunday Night Football, Lions 24, Rams 23. This game had the storylines of a Super Bowl, really, going into it. You have the two quarterbacks who were drafted first overall by the other team. Matthew Stafford got drafted by the Rams. First pick overall, Jared Goff got drafted. My bad. You know what I mean? Yeah, boom. You know what I mean. See, I said by the other team. I'm tongue twisting myself. The storylines were nuts. Okay, Dan Campbell 3 years ago came in, had a press conference about biting kneecaps. And everyone was like, holy shit, this dude isn't going to last more than a season. And in 3 years, he brings the Lions their first playoff win in the last 30 years.
Woo, 32.
32 years.
2 years.
And another playoff appearance, which hasn't happened in a pretty long time either. So it was a moment that you can feel tangibly through the TV. Like as the game was starting, you got Eminem throwing honestly, okay, let's go in on this Eminem pre-show like flow that he was going through. Because it was really negative towards Detroit. Did you not feel that?
What do you mean?
Like it was just like Detroit's messed up in every big moment that they've had. Like
he's
like going
that Detroit has not had a lot of Cinderella endings, like a lot of fairy tale endings. Like things don't work out for Detroit.
Yeah,
you know,
it's tough. It's tough in the streets.
They grind and they just get shit on, but not anymore.
Yeah, well, they went very long on how long they got shit on. Like in relative terms, like it was like a minute and a half spent on shitting on Detroit in the last like 30 seconds. And I was like, yeah, I mean, like I'm behind them. Like I know things have been, but like I'm not like hyped. You know what I mean? I'm not like they're gonna fuck up the Rams because you can't do that.
Well, I just think Eminem's personality too. Like I don't think I've ever seen Eminem get necessarily hyped. Like he's a very monotone kind of.
He needs to change that. Chill. Am I right?
I think he's made a good living for himself doing what he's doing.
But it makes me feel like he doesn't truly love Detroit sports. Okay, is that wrong of me to say? Like,
I mean, if that's just his personality,
yeah.
If he's just naturally like, everything he does, you can't. I think
he's just like this is him fired up. Just
I think that's just Eminem.
I keep everything low, yo.
Yeah, he's gone through a lot of shit, you know. He's had a lot of traumatic experiences.
I get it.
You ever seen 8 Mile?
Here's the thing. Okay. Kelly Clarkson's I've been waiting all day for Sunday Night Football before kickoff.
Carrie Underwood.
Oh
my God.
Who did I say?
You said Kelly Clarkson.
They're literally the same person. Literally the same person.
They were both on American Idol.
Yeah.
And I think they did both win.
Yeah, they both sing country.
But I think Carrie Underwood is making a lot more money doing these.
Yeah, she makes $1 million. Yeah. Okay.
Kelly Clarkson does have a day show. Okay, cool.
Back to what I was saying.
Carrie Underwood, sorry.
No. Carrie Underwood gets me fired up. Like going into that Lions game, it was that promo, and I was like, can I have Eminem say, I've been waiting all day for a Sunday night? Like, I would have loved that.
Yeah,
I would have loved that, man. Oh,
I get it.
Eminem, you missed your moment. You only have one shot. Also, one chance to blow.
Just while we're on the subject of Eminem, he has a restaurant in Detroit called Mom's Spaghetti.
Yes.
We had to try it. Who knew? They had like little.
I feel like we heard about this a while ago, like a couple of years ago.
I had just seen about it yesterday.
I think I watched a YouTube video on it. Oh,
they just have spaghetti.
It was a Facebook post.
It's not.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if we're in Detroit, I guess.
Yeah, it would. Okay. Big things to take away from the Lions-Rams game. 1, Matthew Stafford legally died on the football field for 1 second, and they allowed him to come back into the game. I don't know what the concussion protocol is in the NFL, but it's like it can't be correct. Like, there's no fucking way that Matthew Stafford, after being unconscious for a second, came back out on the next drive. Carson Wentz didn't take a snap. He was back, bro. Like, I think Carson Wentz may have taken one snap, but he was back. And this man was legally dead. You saw NFL Twitter blow up over, oh my gosh, I can't believe they allowed him to continue to play, which everybody in America, thank God this game wasn't on Peacock so the entire world could see it. Fuck the Peacock subscription. We forgot to mention that in the Chiefs Dolphins.
What is the hullabaloo about that? Everyone seems kind of
We'll touch on that at the end. I'll go on a little rant on the streaming platforms. But anyways, everyone was watching this game. They saw that happen. And then on the same drive or the drive before, you got to see Tyler Higbee's MCL just break as he landed on his dome piece. And then a couple plays before that, Puka Nacua got hit like a folding table. He just got literally just his forehead planted into the ground.
His forehead touched his shins for a while. Behind his shins, it looked like he was folded like an accordion.
Poor guy. Oh, my goodness. I don't think so. But anyways, Puka Nacua in a situation in which the Lions have the worst pass defense I've ever seen in my entire life. Doesn't matter if they play zone, doesn't matter if they play man. This is the one thing that will cause them to not be in the Super Bowl, and they need to figure it out soon. And by soon, I mean next week. Because both teams that they can possibly play next week, being the Lions or the Buccaneers, have a pretty good passing attack. I mean, the Buccaneers throw it deep all the time, and I can already envision Mike Evans, 120 yards, 2 touchdowns, just because the Lions struggle in the secondary. And when Aiden Hutchinson isn't making amazing pass rushes and getting sacks, like, their pass rush isn't the best either. They're really good at stopping the run. I'll give them that. But their pass defense is atrocious. So Matthew Stafford did what I knew Matthew Stafford would do. Another Wager Wars bet hit. Matthew Stafford over 272 passing yards. Nailed it. Threw for like 350. The guy literally split his finger early on in the game. That's got to be the worst pain in the world. To throw a ball and to punch a helmet at the same time is got to be just, ooh, just makes my bones chill a little bit. But Matthew Stafford just earned his Hawaii vacation and some. If I was Matthew Stafford, I would not be doing anything until July 1st. I would literally just be like, I'm off, bro. I literally died. My finger hurts. I lost in Detroit where all my kids were born.
Oh, my God.
Everyone booed me for 4 straight quarters. I'm
so
going to Hawaii.
I literally died, and I came back and still had
I died.
Fuck all you.
But did you die? I died. All that being said, Jared Goff at the end of the game when he met Matthew Stafford, there's a couple of things he could have said. Hey, did something you ain't never done before. Have a good one. Because, Matthew Stafford, all those years with fucking Megatron, to not win a single playoff game is crazy. They didn't do that. Jared Goff, a Super Bowl quarterback, ladies and gentlemen, let's not forget that, leads his team like a field general throughout the entire game. They had David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs producing healthy runs throughout the night. But at the end of the day, who is the best overall receiver in the league when it comes to passing, route running, pass catching, overall leader to the team? It's not a question, and we need to stop questioning it. It's Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's that. And by the way, the Buccaneers are running away with this game. The Buccaneers are up 24-9
It was a safety.
with a minute and 19 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Jalen Hurts and all the Eagles fans across the world have their hands in their heads right now. They're crying. we are moving through this recap show. Cameron, what was your favorite part about watching the Lions game with your father, who lifetime Lions fan? How was it?
It was great
To see him.
It's so exciting.
Happy.
Oh, I love it. I love it. He's gone through so many years of just shit with the Lions, so it's good. It's nice. It's nice to have a couple of wins and be doing good. I was talking to one of my patients today, and I was like, I guess we, like my dad and I speaking, just getting to a point where you can say like, oh, I'm a Lions fan, and people aren't like, oh, I'm sorry. Because that was always the response. Always.
Right.
And now people are like, oh, yeah, I like the Lions. I'm rooting for them. I'm like, thanks.
Yeah. Where were you?
Yeah.
Where were you?
Where the fuck were you?
Where were you?
2008? Where were you?
Yeah. I'm part of that crew. Even though I saw the turn happening, I had been on this Amon-Ra St. Brown train since last year. And also in the Hard Knocks this past year, when the Lions were on it, they were saying great things about Jared Goff, saying like he's throwing the ball better than Jared Goff's ever thrown the ball before. And it looked like it. It looked like Jared Goff had his timing right at times. You did have 1 to 2 Jared Goff throws where they don't leave his hand right and they duck and they're just like, you wish you had that one back. But other than that, as long as the running game is good and Jared Goff can hand the ball off 25 times, Lions are amazing. And I think they're really built to make a deep run here. It looks like they will be playing the Buccaneers, and I love the matchup. I really do. I think they can match the Buccaneers tit for tat when it comes to touchdowns, and take the over in that one. Take the over in that game. So one last thing your dad did that was hilarious was we watched the game in its entirety, and then he went back and he watched the Amon-Ra first down to seal the win and to like feel the atmosphere. Turn up the volume a little bit. We didn't notice that, but you turn up the volume a little bit just to feel it. And your mom hit him with the smoothest line, like, you did it, baby. like your dad. It was awesome.
It's funny. You could tell my dad, he'll pace like the last 5 minutes of actually watching it. He was just pacing, walking from room to room.
Yeah.
Like, you could tell how stressed he gets.
Oh, yeah. So and your mom was like, you did it. Like, it was so, because
my mom
sweet.
just wants my dad to feel good. So she's like, awesome. She gets stressed out watching the Lions just because, if they lose, it's a bad day. If they win.
Oh, and it was fun. I was wearing the same undershirt that I'm wearing now with a Honolulu blue pullover, which I've worn on the show, and my Lions hat. So I looked like I was ready to coach. Like, I was ready. I was locked in with the city of Detroit.
He had a tummy ache, though, so his tummy hurt, so he couldn't go.
We're not going to talk about that.
That was the reason.
We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that. Yeah, I had Chinese food. I was fucking... And then the entire time I'm sitting at breakfast and I'm having everyone calls it the Chinese food flu. Everyone's talking about MSG at the breakfast table.
Who's calling it the Chinese food flu?
Everyone is.
Who?
Everyone. Yeah. And so your family kept talking about, oh yeah, the MSG in the food. And I was like, if you don't shut the fuck up about this MSG, I know. I feel the MSG. The MSG was making my intestines go. My intestines like, There's a point in time. I'll go into this, I guess. There was a point in time when I was feeling really crappy. I was on my 6th poop of the day that I was like staring at the TV saying, I determine whether or not I throw up. I determine whether or not I throw up. It's going to come out the other end. I determine that. And then, shit you not, 30 seconds later, I start sweating like I'm fucking water all of a sudden. Like all of a sudden, I am water. I was just pouring sweat. I was just like, I purged. I purged all over the bathroom and yeah. But the Lions won. So I started the day purging. I purged out bad Lions juju, and we won. Moving on to the 2 Monday night games. The game that happened earlier today, Bills 31, Steelers 17. The Steelers just weren't ready. Their offense just sputtered countlessly. The Bills, you knew what they were going to do. The fans, the cool thing that I can say from this game, I love seeing the fans toss the snow in the air when there's a big time play and they score a touchdown. Josh Allen with the second longest all-time playoff touchdown run behind Colin Kaepernick. Literally, there's some teams that I've seen so far in the playoffs that they just lack physicality, and you wouldn't expect that from a Steelers team, but you can see that the Bills were the more physical team from start to finish, and it started with Josh Allen. He went off. I will pull up his stat line right now. Josh Allen goes 21 for 30, 203 yards, 3 touchdowns. Then he runs for 8 carries, 74 yards, and a touchdown. He's one of a kind, and I am appreciating every bit that I get a chance to watch him, because when a quarterback plays that like style of football, you know it's limited. We've seen this from him throughout the other years, where usually right around now, it's like a run where he lowers his shoulder and it takes him a second to get up, and he's like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Like, this is caught up to me. And if that doesn't happen, the Buffalo Bills can possibly be playing spoiler to the Chiefs next week. You got the Bills and the Chiefs, Cameron, in Arrowhead.
That'll be a good game.
Oh, my God. Oh, can't wait for that.
Bills. I'm going Bills.
The reason why I'm not spending too much time on this game is because the Steelers did not deserve to be there. They were a team that, honestly, I would have rather seen possibly the Colts in that situation, where at least you knew they had some offensive firepower to score some touchdowns. You get Jonathan Taylor in a cold environment, and they have to run the ball. I think they do it better than what the Steelers put on as a performance. Hell, I'll even say this. I would say the Raiders would have came out and put a better performance out than what the Steelers put out here this week.
Probably.
They're a team that just got lucky, and they, found a way to get into the playoffs. I believe the Pittsburgh Steelers end with a record of 10-7.
Average.
A pretty, yeah. And for not having a quarterback, it's just amazing, right? They were going through Kenny Pickett, then Mason Rudolph, just alternating back and forth. And Najee Harris just runs like he's got a pair of denim jeans on. George Pickens had an all-time moment today where he takes his helmet off and he throws it against like the coolers or whatever, and it ricochets back at him, and he like steps out of the way, and then he looks back at it to make sure it gets picked up. It's like, dude, stop. I fucking hate when receivers do this. It's like you can't be that out of touch with, I need to keep my emotions in check. You've probably been told this your entire life. You're in the NFL. At some point in time, a coach has probably said, hey, George, Pickens, is there anything up there right now? Okay. You need to dial in mentally and not let this one play bog down the rest of your, not only, your teammates, but just like your mentality moving forward. He's got to move on with that shit. I'm super excited for next week. That's a game that's going to be tough to predict. You're going to have to see both teams, Jesus Christ, knock on wood, this makes playoff football a lot better, are really healthy. Like the Bills finished today's game without that many injuries. The Chiefs are going into the game pretty healthy. Shit, dude. Give me a fucking over in that game. And I believe that over-under is going to be probably set at, 53? Give me the over. That game is going to be a pew, 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 major shootout. On to the final game, and that is the Buccaneers-Eagles game. So I have to make some bold predictions here, because with 14 minutes to go, the fourth quarter just started. The Bucs are up 25-9, and the Eagles just got the ball in the red zone. Okay. Bold prediction time, Cameron. Bold prediction. The Eagles come back and they make this a one-possession game late, but the Buccaneers end up getting a first down when the Eagles have no timeouts, and they ice the game, very similar to how the Lions did. But the Buccaneers will win this game, and they will play the Lions next week.
Ooh, I like that prediction. That's good. That's good.
I love the Lions. Everything that I've seen so far in this Buccaneers game is a lot of the Eagles missing their best receiver, A.J. Brown. And Jalen Hurts is playing a little out of sorts, seeing him take a safety in a spot where the ball was snapped on like the 7-yard line.
Yeah, he just kept going back.
He kept rolling back. A very uncharacteristic play, but now he's playing from behind. And I do know that he contains the capability of bringing his team back. But can that defense hold? Matt Patricia's been coaching the Eagles defense for the last 4 weeks, and it hasn't really looked any different. The Eagles have played really poorly. Out of all the teams that came into the playoffs, I couldn't think of one that came in with less momentum. Maybe the Steelers came in with less momentum than the Eagles did. They were a team that couldn't find the rhythm late. And all season long, you've been seeing them in very close matchups. That's how I know they're going to come back. But with all that being said, if Jalen Hurts doesn't score at any time touchdown, I'm going to be on the corner of the street with a little cup saying, spare change.
Spare change.
Spare change.
Really? Have you used everything in your account?
No, I put $100 on it.
Oh,
I thought it was,
Lord.
I mean, it's going to happen on this drive right here. But I also put $100 down on the Buccaneers money line, so it'll cover. It'll cover. Cameron, any last things? Bets you hit?
Today.
Yes.
Today I hit. I'll just go to me. Both teams for the Bills and Steelers to get 1 touchdown. I did 1 touchdown because I was like 2 touchdowns with the Steelers. I don't trust it. 1 touchdown, and that they got it at the end of the second quarter. I think is when they got their touchdown because I was like, oh, this is done. They can't even get a touchdown, but that hit. Got a solid $40 out of that. I'll take it. And now I need the over. I need over 37.5. I teased it too, so.
And they are
I could go for another touchdown.
They're at 30.
Wait a second.
4 right now.
Oh yeah, I could go for a touchdown.
Touchdown gets you there.
That'll get me there. And then I just need the Bucks to win.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, just please stay tuned to all the Gridiron Junkies content that will be coming out in the coming weeks. We have Super Bowl week coming up, so we want to get some NFL players in the studio. Big-time interviews. That's what we're looking for. I got to put my nose to the grindstone. They're here in Vegas. You got to just find them. I got to call Sean Merriman up and just be like, hey, plug me with the people. Sean Merriman will be in studio tomorrow. He'll be on Action Junkies. All Junkies podcast. Go follow them. Action, fitness, bizarre, content, justice, political is going to be coming back this year. Can't wait for that. All that being said, you can find them at the Podcast Junkies Network on Instagram. That's it. Cameron, hit the stinger. We're done.